The entire human race is supposed to be originated from the divine word Om. According to the Hindu mythology, this short span of the life of all human beings is divided into 4 stages: childhood, adolescence, youth, and old age. Man has to observe 4 ways of life: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa, that is renunciation. This is achieved by the knowledge of the quartet of the 4 Vedas. In furthering the concept of the quartet, he has to pay his reverence to the 4 main religious shrines called Shrine Quartet or Dham, which consist of Badrinath in North India, Rameshwaram in South India, Dwarika in West India, and Puri in East India.
Shanti, Shanti.
In Satya Yuga, the God of gods, Sri Vishnu, observed a rigorous penance and braved the effect of the nature. In order to relieve him from the adversities of the nature, his wife goddess Lakshmi transformed herself into a blueberry tree and provided Vishnu with the shade and shelter. In the Sanskrit language, blueberry tree is known as Badrish tree, and hence that place of worship of Lord Vishnu is known as Badrinath. The Lord there is being called as Badrinath and is located in the northern India.
Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram, Jai Sitaram.
In Tretaya Yuga, Lord Sri Ram was exiled in the forests wherein the demon Ravan kidnapped goddess Sita, the wife of Lord Sri Ram. In order to regain his wife by defeating the demon Ravana, Lord Sri Ram worshipped Ishwar and eventually succeeded in his mission. Eventually this place being known as Rameshwaram and is located in the southern part of India. In the next era, Dwapar Yuga, Lord Sri Krishna established his kingdom in Dwarka and spread his religion all around. Thereafter, Dwarka is named as Dwarka Dham and is located in the western part of India. In Kali Yuga, the last of the eras, the Lord manifests himself as Jagannath and is being worshipped in his abode at Puri, located in the eastern part of India. If these 4 shrines are geographically joined by straight lines, they form the 4 corners of a perfect square.
Shanti, Shanti.
In the Satya Yuga, which means the era of truth, truth prevailed all around. Goddess Lakshmi and Lord Vishnu were resting in the ocean of milk atop the giant snake god called Ananta. God Vishnu and Goddess Lakshmi were never separated in that era.
Sitaram, 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 Jai Sitaram, Jai Sitaram.
In the Tretaya Yuga, that is the next era, Lord Vishnu incarnated himself as Lord Ram and Goddess Lakshmi as Sita. They were married in their new incarnation, but they were temporarily separated as Sita was kidnapped by demon Ravan.
Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nathana.
In the next era, called as the Dwapar Yuga, Lord Vishnu incarnated himself as Lord Krishna and descended as a Lord of Lords on the earth. After his adolescent relationship with Radha and other gopis, he married Rukmini, who was none other than Goddess Lakshmi herself. Lord Krishna had 8 other queens as his wives. In the last era, called as the Kali Yuga, Lord Vishnu in his present incarnation as Lord Jagannath is being worshipped along with his brother Balabhadra and sister Subhadra. In his eternal wife, Lakshmi is far away from him in his abode of Puri. Down the ages, from Satya Yuga to Kali Yuga, all through these eras, there is a continuous erosion in the values and the morals among the human beings. The relationship between the man and woman are no longer sweet and sacred, but there is bitterness all around. Everywhere in the society, there is corruption, mistrust. Man has lost his faith and trust on religion and gods. Man may be able to reach the last frontier of materialism, but he can never have peace of mind, can never get the blessings of God. Even if God is worshipped in different names and in different forms, He is Almighty and is one Supreme Self. So there is a need for a medium to unify all these different manifestations of God and to unite the human beings on the lines of caste and creed. So emerged as that medium of unification is a prime servant of Lord Jagannath named Mrs. Kavita Sahu. She is ably assisted in her mission by her husband Mr. Surjanarayan Sahu. Kavita was born at Manisahu Square of Cuttack. She was an ardent believer of God. According to her mother, it is due to a temple adjacent to her house. Right from her birth, she was in devotional love with Lord Krishna and she adored and obsessed towards Lord Jagannath. When children of her age were playing with dolls, she had surrounded herself completely with the thoughts of Lord Krishna. This surrenderance and single-minded dedication of her towards Lord bestowed upon her abundance of talent in the fields of education, poetry, music, and dance. She had her schooling in St. Joseph's Girls High School, Cuttack, but simultaneously she received her dance training in the Kala Vikash Kendra of Cuttack. She was also a trained musician under the able guidance of Guru Nakula Chandra Bose. Kavita was born in the Hindu family. She was educated in a Christian Catholic school. She was well versed in the praise of Lord Jagannath. But she also had a mesmeric attraction towards a mosque which was located in her neighborhood, in a truly secular environment in all religions. She was fluent in elocution. and became the state topper in debate and went on to win the Chancellor's Debate Prize. As her parents were working in the then undivided Sambalpur district, she went to Sambalpur and completed her post-graduation in Sambalpur University. Thereafter, she joined as branch manager of Indian Coal Company at Raipur. A woman attains her complete womanhood only after marriage. She tied the nuptial knot to Mr. Surjanarayan Sahu of Panchagan. At the time of his marriage, Mr. Surjanarayan Sahu was working at Environmental Systems Research Institute, and after that went on to become the technical advisor in the FedEx Courier Company. On her nuptial night, when she asked her husband about his preferences and his views about his dream lover girl who would be his wife, he replied that he always wanted a girl who is a firm believer of God. She started her marital life by joining her husband in the United States. But her passion for education made her join the Memphis University, from where she acquired her master's degree in microbiology. She further went on to Lady of the Lake University for an MBA degree in healthcare. She also was engaged in a job in America for a short span of time. But Lord Jagannath had different plans for her on the day of Janmashtami. She was blessed with her first child, Amlan, on Ganesh Chaturthi. She was blessed with a second child, Ishan. Both husband and wife were believers of God, and this ardent faith in God made them succeed in life. All of a sudden, when they were cruising happily in their marital life, Surja solicited her opinion about floating their own company. As she was an inveterate optimist, she had affirmed her husband's proposal, and thus created was IIT Company at Memphis. Surja was busy in prospering her business, and Kavita was engaged in nurturing the family. Meanwhile, Kavita met her close friend Heidi and her husband Iqbal. Kavita was in love with Heidi and treated her husband Iqbal as her brother. It was the Easter day of 2008 afternoon. Mr. Surja invited some of his guests for lunch. As Kavita was playing the perfect host to the guests who were on the dining table, all of a sudden she suffered a brain stroke. The stroke was so severe that Kavita collapsed immediately. Surja was badly shaken. When she was rushed to the hospital, it was found that she was in coma. She started the fight between the life and death for 3 days. And finally, Kavita triumphed over death and regained her consciousness. But this left the entire right part of her body to be paralyzed. After being discharged from the hospital, she had to undergo physiotherapy. Slowly but steadily, she regained her health. During that time, her close friend Heidi, along with her husband Iqbal, went on a pilgrimage to Hajj, where they prayed for her long, healthy life. When Kavita was in hospital and was undergoing physiotherapy, she never forgot her beloved Lord Jagannath and Krishna. But this entire episode made Kavita lose her speech and voice. She had to be operated upon her throat to regain her voice. Her complete surrenderance to Lord Jagannath made her win even this battle, and she regained her speech. Exactly after 2 months, Mr. Surya asked her about her desire to travel. As she was devoted totally towards the Lord's, she expressed her desire to go on a pilgrimage for the 4 Dhams or the Shrine Quartet. But is it possible? Can she travel to the 4 quartets of India? Surya replied that even though you cannot travel to the quartets of the shrines, that is the 4 Dhams or Chaturdham, but I can unify all of them and get it to your place. Meanwhile, 2 more years passed. The quest for a plot to construct a temple, but wherever he went, his efforts were futile. But God's deeds and designs are strange. One day, while Surya worshipping God, he received a phone call telling him that the land he was seeking is available. Surya was ecstatic. After the initial worship of the land called as the Bhumi Puja, he got a sudden desire, a Rath Yatra or the car festival has to be organized. But Kavita was surprised hearing this. There is no temple, no idols, so how can you have Rath Yatra? The couple went to a place called Durga Badi, where there is a temple of goddess Durga. An engineer, Mr. Raghubabu, who was working in the local place, gifted idols of Jagannath, Balabhadra and Subhadra. Later on, it was learned that these idols were gifted by the professor couple. Mr. Jeff from Nebraska was entrusted with the task of preparing the chariot, and finally one day on the land of the Houston rolled the chariot of the Jagannath with proudly flattering flag. Kavita, after being operated for the throat and after regaining her speech, went on to sing in the festival.
Sri Khetra re rahi tume e dukhinki gala bholi kemiti kahibi Prabhu Jagatar nath boli kemiti kahibi Prabhu Jagatar nath boli.
The very next year it was proposed to get large idols of Jagannath from Puri in India. Mr. Ghanshyam Mahapatra transported Lord Jagannath, Lord Balabhadra, Lord Subhadra and Sudarshan to Kolkata. The actual itinerary of the god was to get the transport from Kolkata to Delhi and to Delhi to Frankfurt and to Houston. But God himself had different designs and a different itinerary. We were made to travel from Puri to Kolkata and to Delhi to Mumbai and to Bangalore, and from Bangalore to Delhi and to Frankfurt to Cincinnati and back to Frankfurt, then to Cincinnati and finally to Houston. If we minutely introspect the itinerary of the god, then it can be seen that he actually visited the Shrine Quartet or the Chaturdham. The Lord himself travelled first from Puri to Badrinath, then from Badrinath to Dwarka Dham, and from Dwarka Dham to Rameshwaram. After reaching the Houston, he adorned the chariot and the car festival started thereafter. January 25, 2015. As all the preparations for the construction of the temple were in full swing in the woodland, there was a simultaneous worship in her hometown of Cuttack for the 4 shrines. may be settled and well settled in the American land, but the prosperity never made her forget her own motherland. She could not forget neither her motherland nor her near and dear and her kith and kin. In the worship that went on in her hometown of Cuttack, she assembled all her near and dear, and the ultimate aim to get the 4 shrines unified in her place was successfully accomplished by the blessings of all her elders and by the good wishes of all the youngers. Everybody doesn't get success in life, and nor do everybody encounters supernatural deeds in their lives. But everybody has to surrender their own lives in the feet of the God, and only then one will be eligible to get the blessings of God. That is the ultimate aim of the human life, and that is what is meant by accomplishing the quartet of the shrines or the Chatur Dham. Jai Jagannath.